What's up, fam? Now, this story is about a year old, but it just came across my news feed today. And I think it's important because it's something I think that we should not let fall by the wayside. And it's about parenting. We all know one of the girl who got peed on in the R. Kelly video finally came out with a book. We found out, and some of the stuff we already knew, but we found out that her dad was in the band with R. Kelly for years, even after the P incident. The young lady's aunt is the one who introduced her to R. Kelly, told her to go tell him to call her his godfather or something like that. This is all allegations, he say, she say, story. But regardless of who wants to take the blame or who don't want to take the blame, she was still 14, 15 years old having a relationship with R. Kelly. And there were adults there who, regardless if you thought that it went too far, you introduce your child to a grown man. But the problem is, this is nothing new. This is not uncommon. And I'm not even talking about the industry. I'm talking about in real life. I mean, we know people who, moms, who allowed their daughter to be with freaking grown men because he provided financially. And the moms, a lot of times I always feel that mothers live vicariously through their daughters a lot of times. And I don't understand why they're either in competition with them or they're trying to live their life through them, pushing them to do things that either they did or they wish they could have done, or hell, maybe things they wish they could do now. And I don't understand it, promote things that I don't understand. But anyway, let me get to the story real quick. This is one of Chris Brown's former managers. And she said something again that's not really shocking. A lot of times, we all talk about it, but when you actually hear an insider say these things, somebody who's not really famous, just somebody who's behind the scenes all the time, but sees what goes on, it may hit a little different because she doesn't benefit either way from telling this story. You see what I'm saying? So let's check it out. I'm gonna give my take on it, and then, as always, I want you to give your take in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. When you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Let's hit it.
Or get people to change their minds, because before it happened, everyone loved him. Kids, parents were dropping their kids off at hotels like, go get Chris Brown. Go get him. And I'm like, if you don't put your daughter back in your car, stop. Yeah. Like, parents were sending their kids to the hotel. It was that bad because he was a sweetheart to the world, right? Yeah. So they were like, he's a good kid. I want you to marry this kid. Go get him.
But people don't know that parents do that.
That.
Yeah, they don't know. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And and fortunately, his mom and all of us, we were not down with that. We were like, no, take your child and leave. We'd have security handle it. But the what was we talking? I'm sorry, I missed the point.
No, explain how I was saying how he made his comic with Deuces and nobody was playing.
Okay, so that's the end of that. That's the part of the clip I wanted to show. That parents were bringing their daughters to try to hook up and get with Chris Brown. Come on now. Because you can't be that doggone naive. Now, she said that he was a sweetheart. That's why they wanted. Nah, he wasn't a sweetheart. The man was famous. He was a lick. And he was going to take care of you financially. And you can be part of. And the thing about it is, they had to have known that Chris Brown had access to as many females as he wanted. But they thought they were going to get their daughters. And we ain't talking about dropping them off at the concert, go to a Chris Brown. She talking about going to the hotel, dropping their daughters off at the hotels, and saying going in there and see what you can do to woo Chris Brown with your feminine wiles. This stuff is crazy. And which is why, although R. Kelly is guilty and should be in prison, he's where he need to be. These parents need to somehow, these parents need to be held accountable. Because in any other situation, if your child does something, parents are held accountable. If your child breaks the law, they're trying to make it now where if the kids do something, they hold the parents accountable. And they're doing it more and more now because it's like kids are not getting in trouble or kids get in trouble. The parents keep living their life. You're like, no. You're responsible for your child and they're a minor, which should be, it should be the case for the most part. And I know you can't watch your kids all the time and they're going to do what they want to do because kids will be kids or whatever. But it comes to a point to where, shoot, if your kid becomes a nuisance, then yeah, you need to be held responsible. If your kid is not going to school every day, that's on you. If your kid is in a gang and out there acting a fool and causing a lot of mayhem and in and out of the court system, yeah, you need to take a little bit of responsibility for that because again, that is your child in the long term. So because if you get some at home punishment and correction, a lot of that stuff, a lot of that behavior will cut out. Facts, right? So, like I said, your parents got to be held accountable for these situations. So, man, like I said, it's sad. And matter of fact, like I said, it's nothing rare. Matter of fact, I looked up a few other cases, other popular cases, where these entertainers were dealing with minors. And I'm not going to say the ages of these females, but I'm just going to read off some names. And while I'm reading them off, I want you guys to tell me if you notice anything about what's going on here. So, first name, we all know R. Kelly, Jerry Lee Lewis. And I'm not going to read the details of their stories because I want y'all to look them up because again, I don't want to put too much out there and then YouTube be flagging my video and demonetizing things. Just want you to look this up. Yeah, Jerry Lee Lewis, Roman Polanski, Elvis Presley, Steven Tyler. He from the Rolling Stones, I think. Yeah. Walk This Way guy. Charlie Chaplin, Ted Nugent. Don't know, who cares? David Bowie, Jimmy Page, Don Henley, Victor Salva, Gary Glitter, Woody Allen. And I'm sure there's many, many, many more, but these are the ones that popped up when I, Googled this information. So which tells me one, it's a lot of them folk that did this, that was doing this, that it was known about. And then two, this is something that's normalized and or accepted in the entertainment business. So I say all the time, like I said, my dad told me one time, man, he said he was glad that I did not make it or keep pursuing being like a rapper or on the record business or being in the entertainment business, period. He said, because it's demonic. And it is. But it's just a multiplication of real life. Like I say, I've known girls, junior high school, dating cats in their 20s, 30 years old. And their moms know about it. Moms, promoted it. Moms encouraged it. But again, like I say, just like with this Chris Brown story, she just said, I think a lot of times these parents be living through their children. Want their children to do what they wish they could have done. Want to be like, I was too quiet or too nice at the age. If I was your age, if I could go back, I would have did this and did that. And then they press it upon their child to be that way. And it's sad because when the kid grows up, they're confused because your parent's supposed to be your parent, not your friend. Not supposed to be like, man, girl, you better hook up with that dude. No, that's something your friends, your little silly tail friends will do. Not supposed to be your mom or maybe hell, even your dad. I don't know. I hope not. Hope not neither one of them, but somebody is allowing that. But anyway, like I say, man, parents need to be held accountable a lot more somehow, some way, somebody called out for their debauchery. Because when the kid grows up and can't hold a steady job, got multiple uh, baby mamas or baby daddies on drugs, drinking, out there in the streets, you got to question how they grew up or who raised them. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below. Share it with the world. Let's have an intelligent conversation. You know how we do around here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you maybe a couple of minutes out of your day, but it means the world to us here at this channel. And with that being said, I leave you in peace and love, and I'll see you on the other side.